Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name is David Hanlon, aka the Laptop Legend, and this is gonna be kind of more of an informal video because I was put on by someone in my Discord that apparently it's really easy to screen record on Windows. All you have to do is press Windows G and then hit record. So I'm probably gonna be recording more of my trades from this point, and hopefully you guys will find this helpful. So that's what this is gonna be. I have 3 recordings today of 3 of the profitable trades that I made. And again, these are with really small size, but there's enough liquidity that you could probably take these trades with significantly more size than I do and scale this up 10 or even 100x and be really banking on these patterns. So I just wanted to share this live trading footage with you guys in case you find it helpful, because I know for me, when I was learning how to trade, watching people trade live, or at least the live recordings, really helped me understand their thought processes, especially when they walked through it again with the hindsight and talked about, you know, what they were thinking in the different points of the price movements of the stock. So that's what I'm going to do today. And this first stock, I guess the first trade that we have here is my trade on TSNP, the Dip Buy, and I have this on 2x speed, so just keep that in mind, just because obviously this is a long screen recording. I'm not going to make you guys sit here all day long, but essentially it ripped right out of the open and we get a ton of green candles in a row, and I love seeing a ton of any candles in a row because the more candles you get in a row, the more likely it is that one of the other color is coming, if that makes sense. If you get a ton of green candles in a row, that probably means there's a couple red candles coming. And if you get some big red candles, that's usually a good bounce opportunity. So I love it. I hate choppiness. I love this clear action. So, excuse me. So if we hit play here, you can see this is the time and sales. So what I'm seeing, so it's still ripping, man. It's ripping through. That is these are the level 1 quotes. So it's basically level 2, but it literally just shows you the best bid and the best ask, the best bid and offer. And in this case, it's still popping up. There we go. It hit 48 cents for a second there. But it kind of stalls out here. It kind of stalls out. It kind of stalls out. And you can see it down ticks. And we're thinking, all right, this is probably going to be the top. This is probably going to be the top. If it can't break through that area. And it normally happens at a whole cent area, especially on OTC stocks. That's just those whole cent psychological numbers, man. That's what happens. And you know, you can see it's trying here. It's trying to keep going, but now we're starting to see some more red prints. And it's looking a little weaker, looking like it might be topping. And again, I'm not in right now because I didn't buy right from the gate, but you definitely could have bought right from the gate because there really was no panic breakdown. And again, we had the news release today. There wasn't anything that we didn't know. And then we also had the Backstreet Boy talking about this stock. So I mean, we did have a catalyst this morning, so that made it go on a nice little run right at open. You can see here it's really struggling. At this point, I'm like, all right, it's probably gonna break down. I'm waiting for some big red candles. And again, I called this out live on the Discord, so if you're not in that, definitely check out the link in the description. But you can see here, it's starting to downtick. We got that first red candle, and now I'm waiting for some fat ones. Boom. There she goes. There she goes. And it really hasn't happened yet. I mean, it's going a little bit, but when it happens fast. And I'm also going to MIDI just to see what's going on here. I'm thinking I may add. If we get under 20 cents, I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna add hard. So you can see here, this is TSNP. It's still tanking. This is actually the setup that I'm now using on my PC. If you have a larger screen, I recommend putting a couple charts on there so you can avoid missing out plays. Because if you have just one chart, it's bad. You miss out plays. And you can see here, man, look at that red candle. That is fat. That's fat, man. From 47 to 45 in 1 minute. That's beautiful. I love to see that because you see a big sell. Look at all those red print. Oh my gosh, man. They are just smacking the bid there. Oh my God, look at that. That's beautiful. I love to see this. And at this point, I'm thinking, all right, I got to get ready to get in. Let me do some calculations. How much can I put in with the 10K buying power that I have? I'm like, shoot, was I late on the entry? All right, let me get 2,500 shares. Keep it pretty small. Still printing though. Is it going to break 43? That's what I want to see. It broke 43. Okay. All the way down to almost, now it's hitting 42. Is it going to break 42? Under 42. I'm thinking, man, it's probably going to try to bounce around this area because that's where the support is. That's where it opened. And typically, you know, intraday support where it opens. And you can see here, I start to see the green prints. I'm thinking, all right, is it going to uptick? If this upticks at all, I'm ready. I'm ready to get in. 42. I see it print 42 once. And I got my open. Buy limit at 42. And it's fine that it's above where it's printing because it's tough to get execute on these OTCs. You can see now I'm in, boom. And this thing instantly upticks, bro. Instantly at 43. All the buying power rips in. People know to dip buy this. So, I mean, it gets some pretty strong bounces. Man, up to 43.5. 43.69. I take half off the table here, which is the right move because I always take off half just in case the bounce fails, man. The bounce could fail. But here is where I mess up the trade. So in this case, I take off half so that I can be prepared for choppiness. And then when the choppiness comes, I end up getting spooked and I sell, which is very frustrating, but it's a lesson that I have learned and I will not make that mistake again. So on these dip buys, I always recommend selling half if you get that immediate pop, and then be ready to hold your other position, a little bit longer. Because you can see here, now I'm out the rest. I'm out the rest, but it does not crack below. It does not crack below those 42 lows. And at this point, it continues to bounce and rips a lot more, and I could have gotten a lot more profit out of those same shares. And again, I have limited buying power, so I want to make sure that every trade that I make, every dollar that I put into the stock market, I'm getting the most out of those dollars as possible. And because I sold the other half out of a panic, I let it slip against me. And this thing can definitely drop, but that is the purpose of selling half. So if you sell half when you get that immediate pop, even if it tanks and drops below your entry, you can probably still get out, either break even, or you can get out with a little bit of a profit. But if you sell half at the top and then get stopped out by the choppiness, it doesn't make any sense. It's not the smart move to do. So again, what I recommend doing is on these dip buys, when you get the first bounce, take off at least some, so that way when there's a little bit of chop, because you see this, you don't always have bounces this clean. They're not always this clean. And when they are, that's a godsend, man. But when they're not, it can get tough if you're holding all of your shares, and you can get spooked out, even if it doesn't fall past where you got in. Which is why I recommend selling half. And again, I was focused on TSNP, so I missed this one. This was actually a better dip buy in my opinion, because if you look at the price range, it bounced pretty much the same cent-wise, but this one was only 10 cents when you bought it. So you use a lot less buying power, you get a 30-something% bounce. Maybe even more. I forget how far this one runs. But it's pretty easy to tell when this one is turning. And this one actually went on to obviously run above 20 cents today. But this was another beautiful bounce play that I personally missed today. But hopefully watching me do this live and explain, what is going on will help you guys be a little bit better about this. And I actually do have another OZSC trade. I believe that is this one, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so this one, unfortunately, I missed recording the sell-off. But you can see here, basically, I'm just waiting for this to uptick. It's like this is right on the edge. And there we go. It upticks. And I get in. I only get in a partial fill, even though I have it at 0.19. Here, I might actually have to slow this one down. Let me slow this one down really quick for you guys. All right. Move this to 1x speed. So again, when it's tanking, when there's a ton of red candles in a row, typically on these OTC stocks, it can be pretty darn clean. So I had zero doubts that this was going to keep tanking. And it was pretty much all red prints on the time and sales because they're just whacking at the bid. That's people who are terrified or short sellers who want to get their shares because they don't want to miss out on it. So either way, when you start seeing some green prints fall in there, that's when you know it's probably on the verge of bottoming, or at least trying to bottom. And normally when I see it hover in a specific range, you see it's hovering between these two price points. It's hovering between 866 and 867. As soon as it upticks, let me do that one more time. One more time. Again, it's just hovering between these two ranges. As soon as it upticks, that's when I get in. Because you don't want to miss it. And again, I have my limit at 0.19 because I want to make sure that I get executed because it can have a pretty strong bounce, man. And I think this thing bounced all the way up to like 21 or something like that. Or maybe mid 20s. So in this case, I actually learned from my previous mistake on TSNP earlier in the morning. So when we get that immediate spike, you can see I have 1,500 shares and I cancel the order when it goes over 19 and I can't get out of the rest. Because if it falls back under 19, I don't want to get more shares at 19 at that point. At that point, the bounce is over. So I cancel. I just have 1,500 shares. And at this point, I sell half my shares on the way up So you'll see that I do that in a second here. I sell 700. Well, I'm going to sell 700. I'm not sure what I'm typing in there right now. Here, let me speed it back up again just so you guys can see. And I don't waste your time. That's 2.17. There we go, 2.00. So it's still bouncing at this point. Still bouncing. But I'm thinking, you know what? Nah, I'm gonna take half off the table. Start seeing red prints. I'm thinking, all right, maybe it's going. Yeah, let me sell half just in case. But see, now I sold half, and I got in at 0.188. That was where my partial fill was, even though it says 0.19. So I sold half at a decent profit, and now I'm letting the rest run. Now I'm letting the rest run. So you can see, even though there's some red prints here, and I'm thinking, ooh, I really want to lock in these gains. I don't want the rest of my position to go negative on me. I'm thinking, no, I made this mistake earlier on TSNP. I am not going to let myself get spooked out here just because there's red prints. That does not mean that the bounce is over. That does not mean that the bounce is over just because there's some red prints. There can be a little bit of choppiness, but then the bounce can continue. And you see right here, I mean, there's some prints, man. There's some red prints. And I'm thinking, oof, I really want to sell. I really want to take my profits on the rest here. You see my fingers hovering over that place order button, but I managed not to. And that's the thing about trading. You have to learn from the mistakes that you make. Otherwise, you're not growing and you're not becoming a better trader, and you're not moving forward, and you're not going to be more profitable over the long run. If you're not learning from your mistakes, there's no point in making them, and you're never going to get better. But if you can learn from each mistake and grow better, then it's not wasted, if that makes sense. So you can see here, because of my patience, I was able to get the rest over 20. And maybe I should have given it more time, maybe sold half again. But I saw some big sellers step in on the bid there, and on the ask. I always mess those up. Some big sellers step on the ask. I see some big prints, and then I got out here at 20. I'm thinking, all right, I'm locking it in. I'm locking it in. Maybe it doesn't break under. You can see it steps back up. The bid steps back up to 770,000, 800,000. And then it upticks from there. But at least I gave it more time. At least I gave it more time. And that's the main lesson that I want you guys to take away from this. So make sure that you learn from your mistakes, and be willing to sell half and then ride it through a little bit of choppiness. And if it breaks under your entry, then you can cut it. But you're still gonna be profitable probably overall in the trade. Or worst of all, probably worst case scenario, you're gonna be break even. And then here's the last one. Yeah, so there was another dip buy. You can see it did actually make it above 21. Then there was another dip buy. And I didn't get in on this one because I kind of wanted to break down below this area and give me a better panic. But in this case, it made a higher low. I always get those mixed up. So in this case, I'm looking for stocks to overnight. And I see this one. I see DPLS. And this one has a beautiful uptrend all day. And it's right here at that 1 penny mark. And I can see here, this wall is kind of getting eaten away. Is that 13 million seller? So I'm thinking, all right, I'm gonna place an order, or type out an order and be ready. But as soon as I see this wall getting ready to fall, I'm gonna hop in so I can get in at 1 cent before it breaks this psychological number. Because again, 1 cent, that is such an important psychological barrier. And pretty much always when a stock breaks past 1 cent, 10 cents, $1, whatever it is, it goes on a nice little pop immediately thereafter. And if you're tight with your risk, that's a pretty good setup normally. So I have this order typed out, and I'm just waiting here at this point. I'm just waiting. You see it's now under 10 million. We see the buyers stepping up. It starts moving down. I see them whacking away at this, and I'm thinking, all right, I'm getting in. And this honestly might have been a little bit early. But I saw what happened, with the slow executions on some of the other OTCs I was trading today. And I knew that when the buyers come in, bam, a million, bam. Just like that, it's past it and I missed my entry. And when a stock is this low, each one of those 0.1 ticks, 0.01, 0.03. Like that's 3% up from where I got in already. Like that. And on this one, it keeps going a little bit. Keeps going a little bit. And you can see here, it gets all the way up to, I'm not gonna make you guys watch this whole thing, but I'm willing to hold this a little bit. It never breaks under my entry at 1 cent. Keeps going, keeps going, keeps going, keeps going. And eventually it encounters kind of a wall here at 1.1 cents. And it's just not able to break out over that. It's unable to do it. And it looks like it should. You know, we see some buyers coming in, but every time it breaks this wall of bids at 1.09 cents. Every time those buyers step in, someone smashes through and it down ticks again. And I just didn't like how it looked, man. I didn't like how it looked, so I ended up taking off, I think, half my shares here. Maybe a little more than half. Yeah, so I took off 15K shares there. And sometimes I'll get out with a market order. Fidelity lets me buy with a limit order only on OTCs, but I can sell with market orders, which can be a little helpful because that way you don't, like, if you need to get out or you want to take profits, but the stock might be slipping, you don't end up getting, you know, having the price go past your limit, and then you have to retype your order and it takes another 30 seconds to get executed, because that's really annoying. You can see here, like, it's trying, but it just can't do it. It can't do it. And then we see a ton of sellers come in. I'm all right. I'm trying to get out there. And I end up selling the rest. And I'm not sure what it ends up doing before close. It might break down under or it might not. I forget. I actually think I had one more trade on this one that I wanted to show you guys, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, this is the one. This is the one. All right, this is another dip buy, and this is a super, super important lesson, because this is a lesson about reading the tape and understanding when you need to get out of a stock if it's not doing what it's supposed to on a bounce. So you can see here, there's a lot of selling. This is a lot of red candles. And when I see a lot of red candles, what do? I look to hop in, man. I see a lot of red candles that says buy, 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 buy. So I'm looking to hop in this one, and I'm ready at any point as soon as I see this thing start turning. So you can see here, I'm not taking any type of big size, man. 100 shares. It's really not much. But it's about doing things the right way, because you can scale up easily. So I'm waiting for this to bounce. Where is it going to bounce? Still more overhead pressure. But boom. Upticked. We saw 4 print for a little bit. There's definitely a wall at 4. So I might have been a little early, but you can see already printed above 4. There's some hidden sellers on this for sure. I mean, you can see a lot of buying going through there, and it's making no dent. So I'm thinking if that fails, I'm getting out. I'm cutting this quickly. I'm gonna put this actually on 1x just so you guys can see what I saw, because this happened very quickly and I don't want you to miss it. So you can see here, it's bouncing nice. It's bouncing nice, up 2%, 2.6%, 3%. Had a nice little bounce here. I'm thinking, all right, I'm selling half of my shares. And then we see a ton of selling come in. It was just weird, bro. I've never seen anything like this. And this is a really good sign. You need to get out. And you need to get out fast. Look at this. We had one green print there. So much red. What is going on? What is going on? It won't stop. Where's the green? It was the weirdest thing, bro. It was like I was caught in the Matrix, honestly. I mean, it was like a glitch. And then all of a sudden, the bounce just completely dies. And I'm thinking, shoot, man, I'm out. So I'm out the rest. I'm out the rest there. And again, I got in at $3.99. I got in for the break of 4. And this thing just absolutely blows through that. Already under my entry. Good thing I cut that, man. Still dropping. Still dropping like a rock. You barely see any green prints Someone is just smashing on the bid there. They're just dumping shares. Still going. 390s. I mean, it was crazy. I've literally never seen anything like this. And I'm thinking I might want to get in. 385. I might want to get in, but I don't trust this tape. I just don't. And it ended up having a nice bounce, I think, after this. But I mean, that's how you read and know when to get out and save yourself from a big loss. Because again, I mean, I was in from $4 and I was able to snatch a profit on this trade. I mean, look at that tape, down to 381, 380. There's just so much selling. It's literally like the CEO is dumping shares or something. I mean, it's ridiculous. Someone with a ton of size, 14,000. Look at all that size, bro. Someone just dumped a ridiculous amount of. I mean, it's still going. 374. That's scary. Can you imagine if I was still holding shares, being stubborn? All the way from $4? I got out with a profit. That's crazy. 376. And then I think it starts to turn around this area. And I consider getting in, but I think I end up not getting in because I'm a little nervous of that tape, man. That was weird. So if you ever see tape that looks like that, that is a really, really bad sign because the way it was printing was just like not normal on the time and sales. It was like 98% red and it was just weird. Absolutely killed that bounce. Otherwise, that probably would have bounced up, you know, to the 440 area or something like that. At least tried this resistance here. So because of that, you know, I just wanted to make this video so you guys can learn from this type of action because this is super important. If I had huge size on this, that me knowing to get out there could have saved me thousands of dollars, literally. So hopefully this video helps you guys. If you made it to the end, you are a trooper. This is a 22-minute video of live trading footage. I'm probably gonna have 3 people make the end of this video. So if you're one of those 3 people, let's go. What is something that 4 people do together? Duck, duck, goose or something? Let's play some duck, duck, goose. If you made it to the end of the video, you can comment duck, duck, goose and I'll know you're a real one. Yeah, anyways, that's it for this video, guys. I'll see you in the next one tomorrow. I'll be live in the Discord, and until then, let's grow better together. Preguntar, bebé, dime por qué te mientes. No puedes esconder todo lo que tú por mí sientes.